Thank you guys and good morning. My name is Brianna Walker. I'm a senior psychology major at the University of UCLA, and my research project is on children's perceptions of adults' abilities to use and fix technological devices. So before we get started, I just want to do a little thought experiment with you guys if you're okay. So imagine you have your tablet and you're having issues with your tablet. And you have to go to the nearest tech store, maybe a Best Buy or something like that, and you see these two individuals at the desk. Who would you go to? Would you go to this young man or this older man? You want to raise your hand for each one. The younger man or the older man? Notice how most of us in this room pick the younger man. So we're trying to see if children believe the same way. Will children associate younger people with more modern devices like digital devices, or will they associate older people with more analog devices? So we know children's learning is based on the information that they receive from adults around them. Adults are children's largest source of information, especially for information that they can observe firsthand or experience firsthand. The average preschooler expects the average adult to be more knowledgeable than the average child. However, children do believe that children can know more than adults about certain topics. For example, children's ages 3 to 5 say that children know more than adults about playing with toys or using toys, and adults know more about the nutritional value of food than children. By age 3, children also understand that different adults possess different areas of expertise and knowledge, and children's notions of expertise may first emerge in highly familiar adult roles, such as doctors and car mechanics. However, a previous study found that children didn't need to know the principle-based knowledge of a particular career or job. They only needed to know the stereotypical roles of that area of expertise. And an example would be doctors know more than car mechanics at fixing a broken arm, and car mechanics know more than doctors at fixing a flat tire on a car. As children grow older, both boys and girls say that boys are more interested in computer science than girls. These early gender interest stereotypes can lead to gender disparities in motivation, participation in both computer science and other STEM-related activities in the near future. Children's stereotypes may be influenced by what they see. For example, women are underrepresented in STEM. From 2010 to 2019, there's only been a 2% increase in women in the STEM workforce. And the lack of representation in STEM can make it hard for young girls to envision themselves in these career fields. And prior research suggests that children can associate adults' intersecting identities when making judgments based off both adults' gender and race. However, for example, when judging adults' scientific knowledge, children ages 5 to 10 prioritize adults' gender over their race. However, little is known about how children perceive adults' knowledge based off gender and age. So my central research question is, how do children and college students perceive young and old men and women's abilities to use and fix technological devices? So for my participants, I had both children and college students. And so for children, I had 71 children ages 5 to 10, and then I had 53 college students ages 18 to 25. And most of our data was collected in person and online for our child participants, while most of our college students was collected in person. So in my study, adults see two faces, just like the two faces you saw in the beginning. And the young adult phase was obtained from the Chicago Face database, where they matched on both age, attractiveness, and masculinity and femininity. And then the older adult faces were generated by running the younger adult faces through FaceApp to make them appear older. So if you can see on the screen here, the younger lady's face is the same face as the older lady's face. Just appears a lot more older. And in each trial, participants saw two pairs of faces varying in either age or gender. So if you're on the screen here, I'll show you the three pairs that participants saw throughout the study. So they saw different age, same gender, different age, different gender, and same age and different gender. So for the first part of our study is a tablet competency task, where participants choose which of the two adults will be better at using a tablet's functions. So in the study, they would see a screen just like this, and we would give them a short description of a tablet, how it operates, how to use it, and then we give them a scenario in which someone wants to use a tablet's function. So example would be, who would be better at turning down the sound? This young man or this old woman? And then from there, they'll give me their answer selection. And the second part of our study is about troubleshooting devices, where participants are given short descriptions of both digital and analog devices, and then we give them a scenario just like the first part, where they choose which of the two adults would be better at fixing a problem associated with that device. So So let's do another example. So they would see the same thing that you see on the screen here, but this time we have our analog device. And so we would give them a short description, and our description is, this is a typewriter. People used to use a typewriter to print letters on paper, and to use it, you put in paper and press a key with a letter on it. And then for our example scenario, we would say, someone wants to put paper in the typewriter, but the paper's getting jammed. Who would be better at getting it to work? This old woman or this old man? And then from there, they'll give me their answer selections. And so going into our results, my research is still ongoing, so these are just a preliminary analysis of what I've currently found. But just to orient you guys to the graph, on the x-axis we have the proportion of adults choosing, so that's out of the 4 different adult categories that participants see. And then on the y-axis we have the 3 different tasks that participants do, which is using tablets, and then troubleshooting digital devices, and also analog devices. And then also for the colors and all the coordination, we have the blues representing men and the pinks representing women, with the darker colors representing the younger individuals and the lighter colors representing the older individuals. So we found that children selected young adults more often than older adults when judging their abilities to use tablets and also troubleshoot digital devices. However, they did select young and old adults at similar rates when judging their abilities to use analog devices. And just like children, college students also selected young adults more often than older adults when judging their abilities to use tablets and also troubleshoot digital devices. However, they differed on analog, where college students selected young adults more often than older adults when judging their abilities to fix analog devices. So like I said in the beginning, my research is still ongoing, but our results suggest that children and college students prioritize adults' gender over their age. They prioritize adults' age over their gender when judging an adult based off their technological knowledge. And the difference between children and adult intuitions about troubleshooting and fixing analog devices may be reflected upon children believing that adults become more knowledgeable as they age, while college students may base their selection on adults' time spent or experience with the device. And these findings have future implications for improving children's learning about STEM. For instance, children may be more interested in learning about technology from a younger adult than an older adult. And so going into my future directions of my study, like I said in the beginning, we're still ongoing, so we want to further our data collection so that way we can kind of get a full analysis of what's going on. As of now, we're still running our kid participants. I think we're at like 100 and we're aiming for 220, so we're almost there. And then once we finish our data collection, we're going to open up our open response analyst. And so at the end of each of the tasks for both the tablets and the digital devices, we give the 4 different adults, and then we ask the child who will be better at fixing X, Y, Z, like the device. And then so we're going to code their responses to see if there's any common themes on either experience or just any common biases that children may have. And then also this research can also be further explored on children's perceptions of their own abilities in STEM-related careers, and also its impact on their sense of identity and sense of belonging. And I just want to acknowledge and thank all the families and schools that participated with my lab, the Kid Lab. I also want to thank the University of Louisville Graduate School and the Graduate School Council for funding this research project. And I'm open to any questions.